Hey there everyone, my name is Lakay. Welcome back to the channel, not a Forex trader. In my last video, we discussed 3 different EAs at 3 different price points, basically trying to figure out if you need to spend more money on an EA in order to have a profitable system. In that video, I introduced my EA, which is still available on Patreon. I do not intend removing it as this project has evolved into a whole new beast and basically is a different standalone product. So this EA is still available for $5. You get the source code as well as a set file included to easily set it up. Not a Forex trader version 0.3 has now evolved into this. It's called EuroSurge version 2. What has made it evolve to this point is community feedback. So whoever tried the EA would give me feedback and say, hey, would it be possible to do this? Would it be possible to add that? And that is how we have ended up with EuroSurge version 2. It is available on MQL5. Let me just show you here. So here it is, EuroSurge. It is available for $99, but you can get it on Patreon for $5, not a shitty trader tier. You can download it right now. However, you need to be a member in order to have it function on your terminal. Now I'm going to explain how all of that works. The reason why I bring up the MQL5 page is that I've got all of the specs over here, so you can come and have a look. I'll go through some basic settings, but I'm not going to do a rundown of everything because there is a lot, and there's a lot happening right now. So there's a lot of new changes already happening. So this is going to change. I would recommend you come over here to come and look at changes. This just gives you a general overlook. So we do have a couple of screenshots that I have added, and for example here we have $300 to 176,000. Now please keep in mind this is only backtests. This does not guarantee any future results. However, it does give us a good chance of achieving those results. If your backtest is horrible, more than likely your forward testing is going to be horrible. If your backtests are amazing, expect half of that. Never expect the exact same amount. For example, 300 to 176,000. And our modeling quality is 99.9%, which is the best you can get. It still doesn't guarantee that's what you're going to get. So you can see we have a lot of red months. We started our backtest in January. Our first month was negative $35. However, the month thereafter, we made $350. This is at the high risk 1 setting. You can also see our drawdown is at 39 to 40%, which is quite high. However, it is a small account. So if I lose 40%, it's not going to ruin my day. But if I have this drawdown with a $10,000 account, I'm going to be freaking out. So yeah, we do have a couple of red months. We do have a couple of good months as well. It's not out of the realm to expect this in 4 years. However, I would say let's be realistic and cut that amount in half, because a backtest just shows us how the EA would have performed. It has no way of determining how it will perform in the future. So keep that in mind. Here's a whole bunch of screenshots. I do need to update these. I'll update them every 2 to 3 months. Here's all of the information if you guys want to come and check that out. I have it, like I've said, in MQL5 just as a point of reference, and you can go ahead and pick it up for an awesome deal on Patreon. So I'm going to show you how to set up EuroSurge version 2. Before we proceed, I have some Patreon members that I have to thank. We have James. James, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. However, thank you very much. We have Mo Gravy. Welcome and thank you for your support. This is what makes all of this happen. This is what motivates me to keep doing this and have this available for you guys. And then lastly, we have Alex. Alex, welcome. Welcome and thank you. Thank you for allowing me to go on this journey with you and with all of you and any new members who join. I will thank you personally as soon as the next video comes out. I will have a list and I'll go through them. You can just go to the Patreon page. I'll link it down below. And you can just click over here, EuroSurge version 2, and it'll download it for you. So once you do have the download, we just need to open up MetaTrader 4, go to File, Open Data folder, and open MQL4 and go to the Experts folder. We now need to go to our downloads, and I'm just going to drag it in right from downloads, and I'm just going to move it in to the folder, and there it is, EuroSurge version 2 Patreon. We can now close the data folder and refresh our navigator window. Okay, so now that we have refreshed our navigator window, we can locate the EuroSurge version 2 MT4 Patreon. You'll see I've got multiple different versions. However, these are just me testing different things. This is the one we want. Before we add it to our chart, because this is the Patreon version, you'll have to use your email address that you have used to become a member of the Not a Shitty Trader tier. It is a safeguard in place to prevent illegal distribution. So the EA needs to communicate with my server. How does that work? So we go to Tools, we go to Options, and on the Expert Advisors tab, we have to allow web request for listed URL. You need to use the following URL, which is the server address, and the EA basically will take your email that you have entered and communicate with the server and verify, hey, is this email address allowed? Can I proceed to function on this device? So you need to allow web request for listed URL and make sure that this is the address that you enter in the URL section. I will leave the URL in the description for you just to copy and paste into this URL section to prevent any typos. When typing it, please make sure to double check and make sure that you don't make a typo, as it will not work. Okay, so let's click on OK, and now we can bring our EA onto the chart. And this is the entire EA, but to get it to work, we need to enter a email that is allowed on the server, and those emails will be the ones from the Patreon membership. Now for this demonstration, I have put in a little thing like this. So user73@example.com, and if we click on OK, it will give me this alert. Access granted for user73@example.com. Okay, so now the EA is running. But if I make a typo and I say user173@example.com and I click on OK, access will be denied. Please make sure that you do enter the correct email address. You will have the same problem, the same issue, if you did not enter the server address or the server URL correctly in the terminal. So just keep that in mind. So now the EA removes itself from the chart and will not function. Okay, so let's just put it back and make sure that I enter this correctly and put in user73@example.com, and there it works. So yeah, this is the basic gist of the EA. This is what it looks like when it is running. It'll have a little running symbol there with the smiley face. At the moment, it only works on EURUSD on the 5-minute chart. So if you go to 15 minutes, it is going to give you an error, not running. Please use EuroUSD 5-minute time frame. The reason I've done this is to just prevent people making the mistake of adding it onto a incorrect chart. MT4 has default charts that it opens, so you might accidentally put it on the pound dollar chart and at a glance just think, okay, it's running, I'm going to walk away. And now your results are either worse or whatever the case may be, and then you send me angry messages and say it's not working. But I do realize that I am limiting people to experiment with different currency pairs and different time frames. So in a follow-up version, I might just have a recommended section. I don't know. I'm not too sure how I will implement this. I don't want to limit the user, but at the same time, I want to prevent unnecessary mistakes being made. I should mention that at this current moment right now, your email address when signing up as a member on Patreon isn't automated yet. So once you become a member, your email isn't automatically sent to the server and used for verification. I still have to do that manually. So I do keep an eye on notifications when there are new members. So if access is still denied, even though you are 100% sure your email is correct and 100% sure the server URL is correct, send me a message either on Patreon, and there is a WhatsApp group that you can scan the code and join and send messages there where you can inform me and say, hey, I'm still having this issue, so that I can quickly sort that out for you. I'm hoping to have it automated in the near future. However, it is a time-consuming process. It is a bit uncharted territory for me because I'm used to coding EAs. I'm not used to coding Python code and all of that. So just something to keep in mind. This is now functioning on the chart. We can open this, we can go to the properties for the expert advisor, and now we can explore some of the settings. We do have quite a bit in here, but the very important ones would be this, the type of trade size calculation. Currently it is set to recommended. Now the recommended trading size is set to 0.5% for each trade. The reason I do that is because instead of setting it at 1 or even 2% risk per trade is a bit excessive, as the EA does open multiple trades over a period of time. So during a week, you can have 3 trades open that are still floating. So it does take longer than a generic other EA scalpers or whatever. We are not scalping here. We are chasing larger pips. And for that reason, multiple trades can be executed while the first trade is still getting close to take profit or stop loss. For that reason, the recommended trade size is 0.5%. According to all of my testing, it will serve as a middle ground, not too risky. You won't blow your account, but you're also not going to make a ridiculous amount of money with it, at least not in a couple of weeks. So now we have the next setting, which is low risk prop firm, which I have introduced simply because this EA does have the capability of trading on prop firms. And what happens is when our risk is set to low risk prop firm, our trade size is then set to 0.2%. So if you have 5 trades open at once, your entire risk combined is only 1%. So if you lose all 5 of those trades, you'll only lose 1% of your capital. And the other settings are just high risk. This is 1% per trade, and high risk 2 is 1.5% per trade. When using the higher risk settings, the maximum drawdown safety net becomes very important, because I think in the high risk 2 testing, I have seen around 70% drawdown. Now, it doesn't happen all the time, but during a 4-year period, it has happened. And this is just a way of mitigating your risk and at least not having a lot of anxiety. This is something I would use for a smaller account that is not too important to me. I would use it on a smaller account and just put a 30% risk and just let it run and just forget about it really until this hits. So check it out every week or so, because you would have to close the EA and put it back on the chart. You can also set your own trade sizes. So when using the fixed lot size, this is the value it'll trade then. So it'll open up trades of 0.01, or if you wanted mini lots, 0.1, or if you just want to do one whole lot, you can do that as well. We also have the option of percentage based trading, so you can just work it out yourself. For example, 0.5% is the recommended trade size, 0.2% is the same size as the low risk prop firm. However, you can change it up, 0.25 if that's what you want. If you want to trade 5%, I mean, it's your account, you can do what you want, you can do that. Another feature that I have included, especially with selecting the low risk prop firm, let me just put this back, is that you now get a prompt on the UI. We get a little prompt that says enable daily stop loss. It's just a little subtle reminder. Being a prop trader, this is very, very important. Currently, the daily stop loss is set to 4.5%, so it's basically a maximum daily drawdown. So it's the same thing, you just can't lose more than that per day. It's just an additional safety net, and here is where we change that. So you can toggle it to on or off. You don't need this when trading other strategies. This only really applies to prop trading. Some prop trading firms have a 3% daily stop loss, so you'd want to change this to 2.5. Give yourself some wiggle room for slippage, because if you have it too close by, you can still exceed what you are not supposed to exceed, and then you have a terrible day. So yeah, you can set this to 2.5. In that case, if you click on OK, it will update and say your daily stop loss is now set to 2.5%. Then we have the indicators, and these are the default settings. I'm not going to cover the indicators. You can go have a look at the spec sheet on MQL5. This is a new one that I have introduced. I haven't done a lot of testing on it yet, as it is a user recommended indicator that the user asked if I was able to introduce because he wants to try it. Yeah, you can check out the spec sheet. It is on MQL5. I will leave a link in the description. You can go and check it out. And for keen-eyed viewers, yes, this is my real name. I had to provide my KYC information to MQL5. This was a couple of years back. However, this is also my my real name. Something I need to mention is that if you want to backtest any strategy using the Patreon version, you'll have to input your email address, and in order for it to work, you'll have to remove the EA from your chart, and that is an oversight from my side. I basically forgot to include the capability of overriding the email requests in the strategy tester. A good workaround for it is to just download the demo here. So you can download the demo from MQL5 and it'll add it into your markets window right over there. So there we have EuroSurge MT4 in the market little folder in the expert advisors. That is a good workaround. So we just find it here. We go to market and click on EuroSurge, and it'll now run any tests without disrupting your trading on the chart, because it can only run one instance using your email. So if there are multiple instances, the server won't allow it. It will only allow one instance. However, if you do want to use it on multiple accounts, you can download FX Blue Trade Copier and basically just duplicate the trading on different accounts. And FX Blue does allow you to adjust your risk per account. So it's not a limitation that I want to limit you and essentially buy multiple copies for multiple accounts. No, it's just so that it's not just freely distributed all over the place. It is available on Patreon. You can obviously buy it over here as well. I don't know why you would want to do that, because it is a lot cheaper on Patreon, but it is if you wanted and you don't want to have server issues that potentially can arise from my end. If my server goes down or there's some interruptions, it is available on MQL5, and all of the updates that I do for MQL5 I do for Patreon as well. So yeah, guys, this is all I have for you for today. I hope you found this helpful. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.